Keith Lamont Scott was a 43-year-old man that was shot and killed by Charlotte police officers just a few days ago. Now, they had been refusing to release the body cam footage and the dash cam footage of this incident. But just a few minutes ago, Chief Kerr Putney of the Charlotte Police Department has indicated that they will, in fact, release the video footage. Now, let me say what I'm disturbed with, though. They will not be releasing all the video footage. They're selecting, I believe, two different cameras that they're going to release, and it's not going to be the full video footage as well. It's going to be a portion of it. Now, that's extremely disturbing.
Well, I thought they said they were going to be transparent.
Well, if you remember, Chief Putney said that, I believe this was a quote from him, that he said that transparency was in the eye of the beholder. Transparency in the eye of the beholder.
It's not. If you release all the information available, that makes you transparent. Right. If you don't, then you're not being transparent.
It's got to be one or the other.
It's very clear.
You can't be in that soft, cushy middle.
Yeah, this is
like
not.
AJ Goodman says.
It's definitive, not relative.
Right. So that's extremely disturbing, because you see, the public is the judge, jury. You know, I mean, we are the jury. You know, So we want to see all the information. The community has been calling for it. The state has been calling for it. The nation has been calling for it.
And let's just say it was, justified killing by the police officers.
We need to see that.
We need to see that. Like, regardless of what direction it goes into, it is up to them to present the information so that people, don't get all rowdy. Right. So that there's not, civil unrest.
Right.
And you know what? If this turns out to be a justified killing, the civil unrest is still their fault because they weren't transparent.
Because they weren't transparent from the very beginning. See, this is what happens. See, an incident happens, and automatically police officers clam up, and they don't release information that if they're saying this was a justified shooting, then why not just show the public that it was a justified shooting? He's saying that he doesn't want to, tamper with the integrity of the investigation. But hold on, facts are facts. Facts are facts. If you're saying that this information can put your officers in a better light, then why not do that?
And actually, it doesn't do anything to the investigation.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't keep the investigation from going forward.
No,
it doesn't change how you review evidence.
Right. The facts aren't going to change.
The facts aren't
like the video footage isn't going to change. This isn't a situation where there are a lot of moving parts. No, it's like the situation is finalized. We just need to have the facts, have the evidence that we can witness so that we can determine how to respond. But you don't want to give us all of that. So now the wife of Keith Lamont Scott, she took some video and she had released that to the public just a few days ago as well. And you can't really see the exact time he was shot. You can't see him standing there,
and you can't really see all of the interactions between him and the officer.
Yeah, so the video itself, I don't know that it does a lot. It gives you an idea of what was happening at the time. She's telling them to get out of the car and don't let them smash the windows. But like I said, the shooting itself, you can't see. You can't see if something is in his hands. You can't see any of that. So like I said, that video in and of itself doesn't really provide a whole lot.
So essentially all we have to go on is statements made by the police department.
Yes, statements. Now, as of this recording, they have not released the video. They have said, Chief Putney said that they are intending to release video, not all the video, but it's like he's trying to litigate the case for the DA.
Oh, well, interesting how he said he didn't want to, upset the, integrity of the case by releasing all the footage, but yet it's like he's doing his best to try to filter everything in favor of the police department.
And filter it from our eyes and filter it so that maybe the DA doesn't have a case to proceed. That's what it looks like, right? On the surface, I mean, that's what it looks like. So I don't know. But another interesting point is that, and he said it again today at the news conference, he was saying that there is no definitive proof that he had a gun in his hands and that he raised the gun towards the police. Now, he said when you link all of the different evidence together, then that's what you would come away with. That's the conclusion that you would draw, though. But no, like, one camera shot or something like that would tell you that, yes, he had a gun and he raised it at the police officers. And the family has seen the videotapes. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they've seen the limited videotape or not. I don't know. But the attorney, Justin Bamberg, he said that at the time he was shot, Keith Lamont Scott had his hands down. His hands were at his waist. He didn't have them up. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see that image. You know, I don't know what these videotapes that they're going to release to us are going to show. Are we going to see the image of him with his hands down and then being shot? I don't know. So,
I mean, we could talk about like the incident itself. But, you know, kind of what interests me more is like what led up to the incident and why the police even chose to interact.
That's what's really troubling about this
with him.
So
in the first place,
at this press conference, Chief Putney said that they were there to serve a warrant at this apartment complex, and they were doing surveillance in the area, and they observed Keith Lamont Scott in his vehicle with marijuana. I would assume that means that he was smoking marijuana. Maybe he had it in his hand. Maybe he was puffing it. I don't know.
So it was definitely marijuana and not a cigarette.
They said it was. He said it was marijuana. So then he said that in combination with a gun made it a public safety hazard, and they had to address the situation. But that doesn't.
It looks like that sounds like they're trying to set something up to justify them approaching the car in the first place.
But see, he's saying that the reason why they needed to act was the illegal act of the marijuana and the gun. So are you telling me you saw the marijuana? He was like, you know, he was smoking the marijuana and he was like with the gun in his hand outside the window or something like that?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, how'd you see the gun? You had to approach him first to see the gun, right? If there was a gun, you had to approach the vehicle to see the gun. It wasn't like you were far back observing the scene and saw a gun as well as the marijuana.
So they're approaching the reason they used to approach the car couldn't be true because they wouldn't have seen the gun until they got to the car.
Right. That's exactly right. I don't know. Sounds like bullshit to me, man. But one last thing I want to say about this is how many lives have been destroyed because of our current policy on marijuana, dog? How many lives have been destroyed? How many people are in jail because of marijuana? How many people have been killed because of marijuana? Because the United States of America chooses to criminalize
so heavily too
marijuana.
So heavily.
Yes. But nicotine, tobacco products, alcohol. That's okay. But marijuana, no. See, the corporations don't know how to I guess make a good profit on that. Yeah, they want to buy. I guess they want to own the industry or something. Maybe.
And the thing is, even like what makes it even worse is the two industries that we just mentioned. Mm-hmm. They lobby against the legalization of marijuana.
Right, tobacco and alcohol. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
ain't that funny?
Yeah.
But so to me, it's almost like those two industries are lobbying for mass incarceration. They're lobbying for people to get scooped up. They're lobbying for stop and frisk. They don't know it's all indirect. But if they're lobbying against the legalization of marijuana, that's what they're lobbying for.
They're lobbying for these encounters, these confrontations with police officers. That's what they're lobbying for. Mm-hmm. If marijuana was legal, good chance that Keith Lamont Scott would be alive today, right?
But yeah, it would be a good chance. And you talk about the lives that are destroyed. I think the reason why it's not looked at like that is because there are lives that are enriched because of these policies too. There's people's pockets are being lined. Mm-hmm. There's people who have jobs that pay a hefty salary for the fact that marijuana is still illegal.
I mean, so, DEA, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's a whole agency, right?
There's a whole agency. So it's funny how, the conversation about what a government agency is to do away with, it just seems like the DEA never comes up in people's, as far as people's, I guess, fiscal concerns about government spending. I never hear about that agency needing to be done away with.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
They want to cut. They want to cut the IRS. Do
away with the Department of Education.
Yeah,
healthcare.
The EPA,
gone. EPA,
yeah,
FDA,
gone.
Everything.
Yeah, DEA. Oh, that good, solid. But about these protests, right? The governor of North Carolina, who we love, Pat McCrory, right? This guy was talking about the protests, saying that violent protests are unacceptable. And here's a specific quote from him. I understand concerns and I understand frustration and anger, but I will never respect violence. Violence is unacceptable. Really?
Corruption.
Really?
And obstruction is unacceptable too.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about...
You caused the violence, man.
And here's the thing about civil unrest and people who act uncivilized or whatever. But the thing is, like, what other options have you given them?
Yeah.
If the institutions and the systems that they're supposed to express their grievances to are corrupt,
right,
and essentially oppressive, those are supposed to be the civilized mechanisms to use. So if those break down, you can't then kind of demonize them for using uncivilized methods to express civil unrest.
And the whole reason why the videotapes, the shortened videotapes, are going to be released is because of public pressure, because of these protests. Now, why do we have to keep pushing the leadership to do the right thing? Why do we have to keep pushing them to do the right thing for the community? We talked about in an earlier video about Pat McCrory, about that bill, the anti-body cam bill that goes into effect October 1st, that will disallow them from releasing the body cam footage.
Got to cut through red tape just to get
and the dash cam footage. You got to go to court if you want to get that tape, and who knows if the court's going to allow you to get it, right? That's not justice. That's it. I've been saying this. We need justice. We need accountability. We need transparency. We need all three. We don't need one. We don't need two. We need all three. That's what we need.